Hello everybody and welcome back to the Traxion channel for another new video, and this one is going to be a little bit different to the videos you've seen from me so far, as today I am going to be a judge, sentencing drivers to the punishments they truly deserve. Objection! And I'll be asking and answering the age-old question, whose fault is this? In this video, I'm going to be looking at a number of publicly submitted videos to social media where the author or driver is looking for some sort of validation to work out whether or not they're actually at fault, or maybe it's just people wanting to learn more about who's in the right and who's in the wrong in certain racing situations. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to play the video and show you the incident. I'm then going to use my real racing and sim racing experience to try and analyse the situation, work out who's actually at fault, and then I will give my verdict, and the guilty party will be sentenced. Now, as always, there are of course variables. We don't know the different skill levels and experience levels of these drivers. We don't know the rules for these specific series or races that are going on. What we do know though is that there is general racing etiquette and common sense that should be applied in every situation. Drivers have to have a general expectation for driving standards, and that's what we're going to try and teach today. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. First up, we have bronze car versus white car, a classic tale of two Mazdas not giving each other enough room on iRacing. So here we are then, we have the bronze Mazda heading into this right-hander. He's carried a nice line in there, he's going to be looking nice and wide for the next corner, and oh, we've got someone coming from behind! He has licked the stamp, he's sent it, and oh, unfortunately, the letter has ended up straight back through his letterbox. So then, time for some analysis. If you look at it from the white car's perspective, they've seen a space open up in front, so they've gone for a very bold, late move, and sadly they've had the door slammed in their face. If you look at it from the bronze car's perspective, they're probably not expecting a move here, so they're just driving into the corner like they normally would be, focusing on their lines, not looking too much in the mirror, and of course then pay the price for this. There are multiple aspects to consider here. First of all, the nature of the move. This corner doesn't seem like an obvious overtaking opportunity as it's very high speed and there's a short braking zone, so it's very tricky for the driver in front to be able to look in the mirror. The white car also comes from a long way back, it's not as if they were right on their bumper. So first of all, I'd say, is the move really on? The thing is though, in this situation, you could argue it possibly was. The bronze car does leave loads of room and the door wide open, so you can kind of understand why the white car might go for it. And to be fair, it does look like the white car would have made the corner if the bronze car hadn't been there. Think Hamilton and Albon in Brazil 2019, for example. However, there is a general rule that if you're going to go for a big, bold move in a corner that the car in front wouldn't be expecting it, you need to make it obvious. So you need to get most of your car alongside, if not all of your car alongside, in the braking zone, so that the car in front can react and keep out the way and make sure you both get through cleanly. Now in this situation, the white car was not fully alongside the bronze car in the braking zone. As they head for the apex, there's still a little bit of distance between them, so to be honest, the white car was probably in the bronze car's blind spot. At the end of the day, it's always down to the car behind to make the move cleanly, but you need a bit of respect from the car in front as well. And I think it comes down to the fact that the car in front wasn't expecting the move, maybe could have been paying a little bit more attention, and could have avoided the incident. But of course, it was a risk in the first place for the white car to make the move. So I think there's blame on both ends here.
Put it on.
Do I have to do this?
Do you want to get sacked?
No, of course I want to keep my job. The fault here lies marginally with the white car for an overly ambitious move that was always likely to cause an incident from the beginning. I hereby sentence the white car to a 5-second penalty. Case closed. Next up, we have white car versus black car. Another classic tale of another couple of Mazdas that yet again are not leaving each other enough room on iRacing. So the two cars then are side by side heading to the left-hander. The black one's gone in a little bit deep going for the move, just about gets it stopped. The white one's on the grass coming to the exit. They're going to come together though, and the 9 car had absolutely 9 chance of saving that one. Right then, let's have a closer look at this one. Going into the corner, it's clear to see that they're both playing fair. The white car is making sure they hit the apex and not missing the corner, whilst the black car is going for a big bold move on the outside. I love that. One car is running wide and trying desperately to get the car back to the inside. The other car has actually gone in too early and is actually on the grass on the inside. So again, there's nothing wrong at this stage. The next phase is where the problem lies. As they both exit the corner, they both converge towards the middle of the road and make side-to-side contact, sending the white car off. Now if it's side-to-side contact, where does the fault lie? Well, this is the kind of situation where you need to apply common sense with general road positioning. The white car is always going to naturally drift slightly out as they run towards the exit of the corner, so long as they leave the black car enough room to get back on. The black car, on the other hand, aggressively cuts towards the inside in an attempt to block off the white car. There's a difference there. If I use my Bob Ross skills to draw a nice line showing where the edge of the road is, you can clearly see that the two cars are further towards the left, and the black car is the aggressor in this situation. There was pretty much no attempt to leave the white car a respectful amount of space. This one is clear for me. The black car is at fault. I hereby sentence them to slow down, let the white car catch back up, and retake the position. So for our third clip of the day, we have blue car versus green car. Now this is a tale of two Aston Martins at the Hungaroring, and the blue driver wants to know if they did anything wrong in this situation. Let's find out. So the Astons fly towards turn 4 here at Hungary. The green one's got a good run though, he's getting really close to the back of the other one. He's going to use all the runoff area, go for a move down the inside, and oh, there's a squeeze! A little bit of pee probably came out there. So then, driver of the blue car, did you do anything wrong? As both cars turn into the corner, it's fairly clear to see that the green car has more speed and goes to make a move. However, there's not really any space for the green car to make a move. All of a sudden, the two of them are side by side heading to the next corner, and it's squeaky bum time. On first glance, you could be forgiven for thinking the blue car didn't leave the green car enough room, but that's where we need to look a bit more closely. If you look at it again, you'll see that the green car goes a sizable amount of space off of the road, and this isn't of course legal in most situations. Normally you need to keep at least a big part of your car on the curb, if not over the white line on the inside. Now this does change from track to track, game to game, series to series, but in this situation, it's pretty blatant that he is abusing the track limits. If you watch the likes of Formula 1, you'll know that when you abuse the track limits, you cannot make a clean overtake. The blue car stands their ground, and therefore deservedly holds on to the position, making sure they left just enough room for the green car to get back on to avoid an incident. Blue car, don't worry, not guilty is the verdict. As for the green car, I sentence you to a trip up to the steward's room to explain why you're abusing the track limits. I just hope the steward's friendly.
Mission failed.
Next up, we have stripy Mercedes versus spotted Audi. A fantastic race at Twin Ring Motegi that inevitably ends in tears. So we head onto the left-hander, under braking, the Mercedes looks to the inside, but the Audi's going to hold on the position. They run side by side on the way out, they're still side by side through the left-hander after it. They're going to be very close to contact, in fact there is a little bit of contact between the two. This is great, close racing. Heading into the next section now, the Mercedes is going to make a move, nice and late, jumps down the inside, and has the nose in front now of the Audi. But actually the Audi's holding on amazingly around the outside. They're going to run to the right-hander now, the Audi has track position again, the Mercedes is forced out wide, all is fair and love and war when it comes to that particular situation. Now the two of them head down the back straight. The Mercedes is thinking about a move. The Audi's going a little bit defensive, but he leaves the door open, and in comes the Mercedes into the space, heading into the braking zone, gets the full car alongside. What another great move. But again, they're leaving each other so much room as they head towards the exit of the corner, and oh, they're going to come together and make contact, and just like in every great film, the two protagonists fall out in one moment. This is a tough one to call. If you look at it from the Audi's perspective, they had the position coming out of the corner. There was still an overlap, but they were enough in front to be able to dictate the road positioning, so they started moving across the road, and boom, contact was made because the Mercedes still had an overlap. If you look at it from the Merc's perspective, they're just exiting the corner, they're side by side with the Audi, holding their line in the middle of the road, and suddenly there's an Audi appearing out of nowhere and crashing into the side of them. This one is such a shame because the racing was super good and very close up until that particular moment. They were clearly trying to have a clean race, and unfortunately it ended in disaster, which happens in racing sometimes. Either way, let's break down the contact. Generally, when you're side by side in a straight, it's the responsibility of both cars to race cleanly and give each other room and respect. The idea is that you can make little moves but nothing sudden and be predictable. Now obviously if you're the car that's slightly ahead, you have a little more leeway to dictate the positioning of the car on the road, and this is why you sometimes see a little bit of door-to-door contact when people are racing side by side. All is fair in love and war. In my opinion, this incident is down to two individual moments of slight stubbornness. First of all, the Audi moving across when it wasn't fully ahead, and secondly, the Mercedes holding their ground until contact was made. Now both of these actions are technically okay things to do as long as the other driver reacts in the right way, and in both situations this didn't happen. Now normally I would probably put blame on the car behind, but there is one other twist to this incident that changes things a little bit. I don't actually think the Mercedes could see the Audi moving across. Now in iRacing you're forced to run on cockpit camera, and you don't have any fancy radars like you do in other games, you just have Jeff on the radio, who's a bit rubbish. Now I actually believe there's a good chance the Audi was in the blind spot of the Mercedes, and therefore that would explain why the Mercedes didn't move over, because he didn't actually know that the Audi was also moving over. Honestly, this one is just a bit unfortunate. I think it's avoidable by both, but I do honestly feel bad for them. I hereby sentence iRacing to years of providing the community with a better surface. Service. Also add a radar or fire your spotter, because surely the one you've got must be getting on a bit by now. Oh yeah. And our final battle for this video is white NASCAR versus black NASCAR. Now this is the first oval that's featured, but definitely not the first clip from iRacing. So they exit the turn with a white car on the low line, a little bit of contact there, and bang, into the wall, the number 1 in the door indicating just how many incidents it took to ruin this poor sod's race. Now the first thing to note here is that oval racing can be different in terms of etiquette to road racing, but only slightly, and it still comes down to common sense and respect at the end of the day. As they round the corner, you can see that the white car is ahead, but the black car's on the high line and is carrying a lot of speed with a bit of an overlap, so the white car can't just cut across and block the car on the exit. In this incident though, you can see that the white car did actually leave loads of room for the black car on the exit. They kept a fairly tight line and were being fully respectful. If you look at the black car on the other hand, it actually starts veering towards the left on corner exit. Now, although on first viewing it looks like the black car is way too aggressive, unless this was some sort of revenge hit, it's highly unlikely that the black car would want to do something like that intentionally. So what that tells me is the black car has probably given it a bootful and lost the back end under power. It's hard to know for sure without seeing the wheel and pedal inputs of the black car, but because we don't have it, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Unless better evidence is provided that proves this was deliberate, I'm going to have to say that neither driver is guilty. Although if I was the driver of the black car, I'd be looking for the driver of the white car to apologise.
That's a lot of damage!
Well, first off, going for a big bold move from a long way back in a fast corner kind of puts your race in the hands of the driver in front, so basically you're asking to be hit. If you don't know or trust the driver in front, think twice for your own sake before making that move. They of course might not see you or expect you. Secondly, when two cars are side by side, it takes a little bit of common sense and respect to make it work. Don't be too aggressive, don't cut across the other driver, just give each other enough room. Thirdly, it's not fair to make an overtaking manoeuvre while abusing track limits. The only time this could be an exception is if you were forced there or driving off the track to avoid an incident. Sometimes, unfortunate incidents happen during races where neither driver really deserves it. Don't try too hard to apportion blame, just accept that the incident happened, shake hands, and move on to the next race. And finally, just remember that sometimes drivers do make mistakes. Sometimes this might even ruin your race. But if it's not intentional or careless, and it's just down to inexperience, don't get too mad. Even the best drivers in the world make mistakes like this. Just look at Nikita Mazepin. Help them understand what they did wrong, and try and give them some advice on how to improve in the future. Class dismissed. So then, there we have it. If you guys enjoyed this new style of video, please let us know in the comments below and we'll be sure to make more of them in the future. Who knows, maybe you could send in your own clips for us to analyse. Until next time, keep it pinned, thanks for watching, and have a great day.